We're checking out Age of Empires Mobile, a game that tries to bring the beloved strategy franchise to mobile devices. But does it live up to the legacy of the series, or is it just another cash grab? By the end of this video, you'll know if it's worth your time. Age of Empires Mobile promises a mobile version of the classic real-time strategy series, but if you're hoping for an experience like the original, you might want to lower your expectations. Right from the start, things feel off. The storyline is strange and disjointed, introducing characters and ideas that don't seem to belong in an Age of Empires game. You'll be thrown into a world where Princess Josephine escapes from a collapsing empire with a mix of medieval and fantasy elements that don't add up. In classic Age of Empires games, the ability to command individual units and carefully strategize battles was a hallmark of the series. Unfortunately, Age of Empires Mobile strips away a lot of that complexity. Rather than commanding individual units, the game lumps them into a single blob behind a commander. Instead of directing each unit, you're just moving this blob around the map, collecting power-ups from monuments and treasure chests. Some of these power-ups are as dull as a 20% health boost, while others feel completely ridiculous, like turning soldiers into trebuchets or making them spin around like Beyblades. Combat doesn't get any better. When your troops engage with enemies, both sides just stand there, hacking away at each other until one side's health bar hits 0. There's no real strategy involved. It's just a numbers game. Whoever brings the bigger army wins. If you're hoping for some tactical depth, this isn't the game for you. One of the more intriguing elements in Age of Empires Mobile is the inclusion of heroes. These heroes can be upgraded to bolster your troops and provide buffs, and there's a decent variety to choose from across different cultures. However, in actual gameplay, the heroes don't feel all that heroic. They blend in with the rest of the army and fail to stand out as leaders on the battlefield. It's clear the game was designed to be simplified for mobile, but the lack of direct control over your troops, particularly in combat, makes it feel like you're more of a passive observer than an active participant. The game auto-resolves most of the combat, and that removes the thrill of leading your army to victory. If there's one area where Age of Empires Mobile feels somewhat familiar, it's in the base building and resource management. You've got your classic Age of Empires resources: food, wood, gold, and stone. Placing buildings and organizing your city is a decent throwback to the original series, and watching your city grow as you advance through the ages can be satisfying. But things start to fall apart when you get into the actual mechanics of upgrading your city. Each upgrade takes a set amount of time, and as you progress, that time becomes painfully long. You'll find yourself waiting hours or even days for some upgrades to finish. Of course, there are ways to speed up the process, but they typically come with a price tag. This mechanic feels all too familiar to anyone who's played mobile games like Clash of Kings or Epic Age. The free-to-play model is on full display here, and it can feel like you're constantly being nudged toward making in-app purchases. As far as strategy goes, there isn't much to sink your teeth into. In previous Age of Empires games, you could build an economy, create military units, and strategize how to defeat your enemies. Here, the game is much more about collecting resources, upgrading your base, and hoping you have higher numbers than your opponent. There's very little room for tactical thinking. Age of Empires Mobile is not the strategic masterpiece fans of the series are hoping for. It feels like another forgettable mobile game with the Age of Empires name slapped on it. If you're looking for the deep, tactical gameplay that made the series iconic, this isn't it. You'll spend more time waiting for upgrades and watching auto battles than actually strategizing. It's not the worst mobile game out there, but it's a far cry from what Age of Empires fans expect. If you're looking for a more in-depth strategy game, you might want to check out Norland. It offers a different experience with more complex mechanics and deeper gameplay. If that sounds interesting, be sure to watch our review on Norland. Just click the link here and see if it's worth your time.